Hello, my name is Leslie Thomas and I'd like to talk to you today about the legal process involved in buying a property in the French Alps. A number of our clients have expressed nervousness when first thinking about buying a property in France, as they know very little about the process involved. So I'd like to talk to you today about that process. When you have found the property you wish to purchase and your offer has been accepted, then you will sign the first of two contracts. If purchasing a new build off-plan property, then you will sign a reservation contract and pay a deposit of between 2% and 5% of the property purchase value. Once you have signed the reservation agreement, the developer will then countersign that same contract and a copy will be returned to you by courier. Once you have received the countersigned contract, a cooling off period will then begin, in which you have 10 days to withdraw from the contract for any reason whatsoever and have your deposit returned to you. The process is very similar if purchasing a resale property. In this case, however, you will sign something called a compromis, which is a promise to buy. In the case of resales, the deposit is 10%, and this will also sit on the notary's escrow account in the same way as it does for a new build property. Once the compromis has been countersigned by the owner, a copy will be returned to you by courier and the same 10-day cooling off period will apply. In France, property sales are handled by a notary, a publicly appointed legal advisor. It's perfectly usual in France for the notary to handle both sides of the sale. However, we would recommend that you do appoint your own independent notary, who can work alongside the other notary, and they will share the fees involved. Notary fees are lower for new build property, at around about 2.5%, which does include stamp duty as well. This can go up to 7% for resale properties, but is done on a sliding scale based on the value of the property. If taking out a mortgage, there is also a mortgage registration fee of up to 1%. With regard to the deposit, it's worth speaking to a foreign exchange broker who can usually achieve better rates of exchange than the bank. They can also discuss options with you, such as forward trading, where you can set the rate at which you want to trade, and the trader will then perform the trade once that level has been reached. If purchasing with a mortgage, if you haven't already started the mortgage application process, this needs to be done now, as in France the process of applying for a mortgage is a fairly lengthy process, which can be further drawn out depending on the time of year you actually apply, as France has a number of additional bank holidays, particularly over the Easter and early summer period, and they also take extended holiday in August. The final stage of the process is the signing of the acte de vente, the final contract. This usually takes place between 8 and 12 weeks after the initial contract. This time period can be shorter or longer, particularly depending on whether you're purchasing with cash or a mortgage. If purchasing with cash, the process can take a lot less time. The signing of the acte de vente can either take place in the notary's office in the French Alps, or you can sign a power of attorney in your home country, allowing the notary to sign on your behalf. If purchasing a resale property, then all funds, including fees, need to be on the notary's account ahead of the final signing. If purchasing an off-plan property, then usually 30% less the deposit plus fees is required ahead of signing of the final contract, with the balance being paid in stage payments to correlate with certain stages of construction. If you are buying a brand new property in France and wish to rent it out when not using it yourself, it is then possible to reclaim the VAT at the rate of 20% currently if you put a commercial property management contract in place, which offers 3 of the 4 following hotel type services: key holding, cleaning, laundry, and breakfast. As I say, you only need to offer 3 out of the 4 of those services and make your property available to rent for a reasonable amount of time in the season. Please note, however, that you are reclaiming the VAT and therefore need to have the funds available when signing the final contract. Full details of the buying process can be found in our buyer's guide, and we would be very happy to introduce you to a bilingual notary to discuss any aspects of the purchase. So please do get in touch via the details now on screen. Thank you very much for your time. Next time I would like to speak to you about French mortgages. Thank you.